We all know there's a brand new James Bond movie coming. I believe they're getting ready to shoot in just a matter of about a month or so, I think. But there's still a little bit of drama going on behind the scenes. There is some rework being done on the script as we speak. Daniel Craig, the star of course, the James Bond films right now, wasn't completely happy with the script, and he went to the producers and he specifically requested to have the creator of the wonderful BBC series Killing Eve. Guys, if you have not watched Killing Eve, watch Killing Eve. It's pretty damn fantastic. To bring in the creator of that show to do a touch-up on the script, and apparently, according to Variety, that's exactly what's happening. From Variety, Killing Eve creator Phoebe Waller-Bridge has been brought in to polish the script for the next James Bond film. Variety has confirmed Waller-Bridge's involvement came at the direct request of Daniel Craig, according to The Observer, which said Craig felt the script needed a polish to add more humor. The Emmy and BAFTA-nominated writer is known for her offbeat, caustic humor and strong characterization, because not only has she been doing Killing Eve, she also did Fleabag, which she also stars in, by the way. That's getting a lot of critical attention as well. Rob, you are amongst the biggest James Bond fans I know. You're also a fan of Killing Eve. You started watching Killing Eve. When you hear news like this, what's your response to hearing something like this going on? How do you react to this?
Well, I think it's great news. And I think the fact that she's working on Killing Eve does a really good job of balancing great, hard-hitting espionage, assassin, spy, thriller stuff with really great characterization and this really obsession between two women with one another. And I think, look, after Spectre, which while looks beautiful and has one of the great Bond openings, it was a yawn fest. As much as I love my Bond movies, it really, and Blofeld, who used to have a volcanic base back in the 60s, he's hanging out in a spa in the middle of the desert with a bunch of other people watching their computer screens. I mean, it was yawn inducing. And I think what this movie needs, it needs the buoyant pitter patter of the Connery films. It needs to come back to the scene. One of the great scenes in Daniel Craig's tenure as Bond was when he first meets Eva Green's character in Casino Royale, in the train. That scene alone should be looked at for how to introduce characters to one another. And that's what I think Daniel Craig is looking for. He's looking for that. I don't know the plot. I've heard it's about a new 007 being trained and Bond's retiring. I don't know what it's about. But I think the idea that you bring in someone with the new perspective and bring in the rapier wit that Bond has. I mean, we need that. We need that fun. Bring back fun to Bond. Craig is so dour after Casino Royale. Enough. I want to see some quips. I want to see some one-liners. I want to see Bond and a woman go, well, mano-y-mano with one another, but verbally. Bond is a cunning linguist after all.
There's so much I could say, but I mean, this is kind of the pattern Bond has followed, right, since Daniel Craig came on. Fabulous film, kind of a step down, followed by a fabulous film, followed by kind of I didn't think Spectre was terrible, but it was definitively, we use the word sometimes, but I really did feel there was a convoluted kind of aspect to this movie that felt a little disjointed, and it did lead it to feeling a little bit more boring as a result. They put action on screen, but it wasn't pieced together in such a way that made you get invested in it, and so it was absolutely a step down. I think there are some people who look at having humor in a film versus intensity, and there's a lot of film fans who kind of look at it as an either or. I think what Bond needs to go for and what Bond has done in the past and what Daniel Craig is asking for here is not an either or. He's asking for a both and. Bond traditionally has had great intensity and great fun. It's had the great one-liners from the hero quips to the menacing one-liners from the villains. It's not an either or. And so I know there are some people who want to balk when they see Craig wanted more humor. What, he wanted it to be a Disney film? No, he just wants it to get a little bit more in tune with the DNA of James Bond, which is not either or, it's both and. Do you think she's the person to bring this to it? Do you think she's the right choice for that?
I do. I mean, I really do. And I'll tell you something. There's a lot of people. This is not some SJW thing, but I think a female voice in a script like this can only help. We need that. I think that writing has really the subtleties and the nuance and the way that writing has it's become so formulaic lately. And I think the Bond films used to set the tone, especially in the early 60s. They were new. Now we're dealing with a franchise that is over 50 years old. And when you look at a show like Killing Eve threads that needle in terms of tone. You can watch a horrible murder and assassination, and then literally you can laugh at it. It's darkly sardonic humor, yes. But there's a lot of, you're jumping from tone to tone in that show. And it's the tone and it's the jumping between the tones that I think Daniel Craig wants. He wants to be able to go from brutal, hard-hitting Bond-esque action to maybe some kind of humor that we can all be like, wow, that was, and then on to the next. It's a really hard thing to do. And I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is really good at it. So let's add that to the script. I mean, this is his swan song as Bond. I think he wants it to be the best script it can be. So bring it on.
All right. What do you guys think about this? Do you like the addition? Do you think it's an either or both and situation? Jump down in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.